The British Prime Minister Boris Johnson hangs on by a thread. Johnson narrowly survived a no-confidence vote from his own party. Today's vote was triggered after dozens of his fellow Conservative lawmakers submitted letters questioning his leadership. Here's the moment that a party official announced the result in Parliament.
I can announce that the Parliamentary Party does have confidence.
211 MPs voted for Boris Johnson. 148 voted against him. The Prime Minister needed a simple majority to remain in office, 180 votes or more. That means he survived by 32 votes. In other words, 59% of Conservative lawmakers say they support Johnson. 41% say they have no confidence. After the vote, the Prime Minister spoke to our sister network, Sky News in the UK. He described the result as both convincing and decisive.
What it means is that as a government, we can move on and focus on the stuff that I think really matters to people.
Well, under current rules in the UK, Johnson cannot face another leadership challenge for at least 1 year. But today's vote does deliver yet another significant blow to his authority and wounded reputation. The Prime Minister sparked outrage across the UK for the scandal known as Partygate. Investigators found that he and his staff repeatedly hosted boozy parties at number 10 Downing Street while the country was under a strict COVID lockdown. During that time, the government ordered people in the UK not to socialize at all or even visit their dying loved ones. Johnson has said he takes full responsibility for the parties, but of course, he refused throughout to step down. Now, a growing number of Conservative lawmakers say they feel the Prime Minister is a liability for the party. A look at tomorrow's front pages in the UK. The Eye writing, "Wounded Johnson in peril." Daily Mirror, "Parties over Boris." And the Daily Star, "Carry on, Pinocchio. Fibber PM survives to lie another day." Thank you, Fleet Street. Wilfred Frost joins us now from London, CNBC contributor now and Sky News anchor these days. Boris barely gets by.
Barely gets by, but the important thing tonight is he did win that vote in confidence in him. And as you rightly said, now can't face the same vote for at least another 12 months. So certainly fights to live another day, though, as you correctly imply, when 40% of your own team suggest they have no faith in your leadership, your authority is hit very hard. And a reminder, Shep, that when Theresa May faced the same type of vote in 2018, she won it with a higher percentage than Boris Johnson has done tonight, but 5 or 6 months later was ultimately pressured and forced to resign because she had been so wounded from that process. The slight difference with Boris Johnson, he's seen as more stubborn, more resolute, dare I even say, more self-interested. So the bar for him to now resign on his own accord, probably higher than it was for Theresa May.
You know, those who voted with the Prime Minister, what was their argument for keeping it?
So the thing that we've heard a lot of, both today in the run-up to this vote, but also over the last couple of months, is they remind people that 2.5 years ago, relatively recently, he led the party to a massive majority in the general election, and therefore his own MPs should allow him to get on with the job and not fill themselves with these Game of Thrones leadership-type battles just within the niche of the Conservative Party. They also point to the fact that there's big issues to deal with: inflation, slowing economy, and, of course, the war in Ukraine. The one thing that's not really mentioned today, but certainly implied and probably helped him gain a few extra votes, is there's no clear, obvious successor. There's no clear front runner. So even if people didn't necessarily vote today because they have huge faith in him, they might have done because they didn't know what would come next. Now, of course, all of those reasons aren't suggesting enduring faith in him personally, but they were enough to save him tonight.
Wilfred Frost, live from London. Great to see you, and thanks.